going on, everybody? Sean and Jay here with Triangle of Truth. This week we are going to review Red 10 Volume 2 and do a discussion on Volume 1 because I actually just recently read the entire series straight through back to back.
And if you watched my question of the week this past week, you would see a little teaser. This is going to be under the Dynamic Duo Reviews series we're going to be starting, which is going to be a combination of any three of us as a duo, of course. Anything that we collectively have read or watched or collectibles that we want to talk about, things like that. So, hope you like it.
I know I can't wait for the entrance on that because it's been holding for so long, the music and everything. So I'm looking forward to that at least.
I've made the thing like 3 or 4 times until I got it right, and I'm still probably going to tweak it after that. But we're gonna start this off with Volume 1. Not too long ago, I actually did a review on Volume 1. We're not going to be doing an in-depth review, but I just want to ask Sean, since this is the first time Sean read it, and he got lucky because I had gotten Volume 2 that I had to wait like 6 years or so to get. He got to read it all the way through as one, so I just want to get your thoughts on what you thought about Volume 1 of that.
It's okay, you can just call me a cheater. I know that's what you're thinking in your head.
A little bit.
I thought Volume 1 was great. It was one of those where they don't mince words. They kind of get right into what's going on with the story, why we're in the situation we're in with the murder of Red within, what is it, like the first 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
They give you absolutely zero clue as to who it is that does everything, period. And I thought that was cool. And then they do a good job of kind of swerving you around. They make you think that it's going to be like her arch nemesis, which is Oxymoron. If you've never heard of him, he's just one of the greatest villains, period, in all of comics. And you follow this superhero team of 10 people that were her teammates and whatnot, and a former sidekick that are trying to figure out who it was that did this. And like I said, you start off thinking it's Oxy, and then right there at that 5th issue, almost the very last page, someone says, because I'm the one that did it, blah, 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 and then it cuts off. And he's had to wait 6 years to figure out the other 5 issues in the story, while I only had to close one book and open up the other and wait another 30 minutes. So that, what I will say, and it's something that echoes what he said, is, or that we've both said, take everything you thought in Volume 1 going into Volume 2 and just toss it out the window. What you think is going to happen, and I texted him after I got done with 1, I said, I think it's so-and-so that did blah, blah, blah. And all he does is go, just wait, man.
Yeah.
And that basically leads us to where we are now. Like I said, I won't do too much of it because he's already done Volume 1. We'll leave a link in the description below to that video so that you can get his in-depth review and thoughts on that. But for me, this set the stage for what was an epic conclusion to a 10-issue saga.
Now, on to Volume 2. Just Comixtribe, guys. Honestly.
Yeah, not even a golf club. That's a standing ovation. If we would stand if our heads didn't go out of the screen.
True. It blew me away. Like, I unboxed it as soon as I had gotten it out, straight out of the mail, turned on the video camera. I struggled opening it, but unfortunately I didn't get to read it right then. But when I did read it, every expectation I had was blown away. And I mean that in a good way, of course. Every guess that I had, all wrong. It was all wrong. And the thing about this book is, you're thinking, oh, superheroes are getting picked off. Well, the more you read into this book, you don't feel that bad for these heroes. There's some dark thing, especially, like, I thought the first 5 that were off, except for the android, which if you've read it, you know who I'm talking about. The first ones, yeah, they were kind of scummy people, but the last 5 of them, or I should say 4, no, last 5 of them, you just find out these deep, dark secrets about them, and you're just like, wow, you were parading yourself around as a hero and somebody for justice, and you are a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
One of the guys in particular involves shrinking women down and keeping them in slides. I'll leave that there for you.
Yeah.
This book, I'll tell you, this whole series, if you have a chance, and I'm going to have Sean's thoughts on it too, it just picks up right where it left off with the last 5. And I mean, in the first page, blam, there's a death. And then you have the last 4 of them there's this big just inner fighting where each one of them thinks it's the other one. And there's just so many twists and turns, and the storytelling in these books are so tight. You're never bored. You're always guessing until the final page. And even after that, there's something that's added in this book that wasn't added or wasn't in the regular issues they released. There's some extra pages in there. And even then, you're just like, everything you thought you could be that kind of person that you can read the first page or 2 and know who does it. If you can do it with this book, by all means, man, you deserve a trophy, because the storytelling was so well done. Tyler James is not only one of the big wigs over at Comixtribe. He was the writer of this book, and man, that guy deserves all the credit in the world. Sean, let me hear your thoughts. What did you think when you read the second volume?
Well, again, it's literally like you said, when you open up in the first, the 6th issue, which is the first issue of volume 1, it jumps right back in and confuses me even more than I was when I got done with issue 5. And you still sit there and think, and then, I thought it was going to be the one dude for the longest time. His name escapes me, but he's like their Superman, basically. Okay. He was, throughout the entire book, that's really who I thought it was going to be. And it was just each team member finding a way to unravel him and get him to admit more to it. And it never happened. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
And, right up to the full reveal, I'm like, I love murder mysteries.
Yeah.
But this was, pardon the pun, but this was a murder mystery turned up to 10. Literally. This is probably my first experience reading an entire storyline from Comixtribe, despite the fact that we have practically every single trade that they've released sitting here in the house. But I try to concentrate on my own stuff, but I had to read this. And Tyler, dude, I really hope that you do more of something like this. You've got other characters that you can do this with, that you could cross over in this world, and it would be so amazing to do stuff like this, like maybe some of the characters from Sync with Oxymoron or some of these other heroes.
Yes.
Stuff like that. It's just, I don't even know. I was speechless after I put it down. The other thing, and I'm going to be that guy, that I'm going to touch on that impressed me the most is DC and Marvel, you need to hear this. The quality of this book, the hardcover, the artwork, just the quality of the colors and the pages, you would think that this was, a major company, not someone that did it as a Kickstarter, printed the book, and here you go. Take note, because that kind of stuff, to me, says a lot when I'm holding something and it just gives me a good visual picture of it. And the artwork in that book is incredible. I have a feeling that if we do like an end of the year thing, that's going to be one of my top art books of the year. It was that good.
That's I believe that's Cesar Feliciano. Caesar?
Yeah, it's something.
Feliciano? Yeah.
It's not Caesar, it's Cesar, but yeah dude,
yeah.
Kudos on the artwork, bro.
Exactly. Who did you have a favorite character? Like, they were all, like I said, they're all scummy, but did you have one that you're kind of like, if this guy wasn't a scummy person or this woman wasn't a scummy person, you'd be like, yeah, they're all right?
The dude that God, I wish I could remember names, and I do apologize if I don't remember names, but basically their Green Lantern guy that was had that big episode in space.
Yes.
Because he supposedly, stole the powers that he's got. He seemed like I could legit read a comic series based on him. I think you could read him on anybody, but he was the one to me that I was like, for whatever reason, you're the dude that's talking to me right now. So that was probably my favorite of the good bad guys.
I actually really liked the Speedster.
Oh yeah,
the Speedster that they had. I really liked him, but again, like I've said before, these characters in pretty much all of Comixtribe's books, they're each written so well and so well fleshed out. You could make a series on any one of them.
Pretty much.
To me, I would love for them to go even farther back and do like a pre-Red 10 showing when all these, because it's not a big spoiler, but it is kind of a spoiler because I've said it before. None of these heroes are really good. They've either stolen powers, they've killed people, they've basically committed sexual assault and murder, but again though, they're so well written that I would read a comic about scummy superhero, or maybe before they were bad, because I don't think all of these people, aside from 2 or 3 of them, I don't think all of them started out bad. I think they just eventually the power got to their head and they kind of turned a little.
Another person he's kind of a sidebar character throughout the whole thing, but he's a bit of a master architect too. Is the guy that was the head of the corporation?
Yes.
He reminded me a bit of like Toyo Harada, except to a more devious extreme in some ways. A story with that guy as the main villain. Oh my God.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, in the second volume, he thinks the team is gone. They don't know what's happening to them yet, so he decides I'm just going to build a new team.
Yep.
So he builds a new team, and immediately that team is kind of taken out. But I had very, very high expectations for this book after reading the first one, and yes, I did wait a long time. But you know what? It is very well worth the wait to me. This is. Again, these are books that I just one day I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pick this up and read it again, and just when I reread it, I'm gonna try to kind of look into it to see if I can guess then who it is, because even knowing the end of this book, you sit there and they explain it to you near the end, but you sit there and you're like, man, that's so smart. Like the stuff that happens that leads up to the end, you're like, how. If you're not really looking for it, you don't see it. But I don't even think if you're looking for it, you'd even see it.
Now there's a lot of that it's because you wonder how the setup, like how long before. I'm trying to remember when you find out about Oxy. Was that in Volume 1?
Yeah, Volume 1 you find out that Oxy's supposedly, let's say allegedly, dead.
Yeah, because you just see him in a chair. Just gone.
neck snapped, I think.
So when you see this, you wonder how long before everything
that he set all this stuff up to begin
with. That they set all this in motion, because this was a huge setup to get them all to where they were on this island, and then to do everything the way that they did it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, when did he find the time? And and even the craziest part is. I'm trying to think if this is a spoiler or not. I will say this. When you find out who it is, the weird part about it is they're still there the entire time, for the most part.
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder how much planning went into this. That's why it's so hard to figure out who does it.
Yeah.
Because the person that does it is still pretty much throughout the entire story.
Yeah. Is it confusing enough for you guys already?
I'm confusing myself.
Yeah. But honestly, check out the Comixtribe website. They still have issues, or not issues, sorry. They still have the hardcover and I think the softcover if you want to go with that. I'm pretty sure you can get a PDF file if you're into the digital world of it. But man, yeah, like it was completely worth it. As soon as I told Tyler James a long time ago, I said, as soon as y'all get Volume 2 together, as soon as y'all put that on Kickstarter, I am backing it. Now, granted, I was like backer number 60-something, But I backed it as soon as it was up.
He was working that day.
Yeah, I was working that day. I backed it as soon as I found out about it, though.
Yeah.
Real quick, also in a couple of months, around August, get ready for another unboxing from Comixtribe. They're releasing a book called She at the Tower of All That Is Known. Again, I read a very, very small synopsis of this book, but I was like, you know what? It's Comixtribe. I'm backing it. And that's exactly what I told them on the website. I was like, if it's Comixtribe, it gets backed because they put out quality work.
Not to mention that when you see this book, I've not seen a hardcover like this. So it's going to be one of the most awesome books.
The hardcover looks dope. It's so good looking.
Needless to say, that'll be a fun video to see whenever that does come.
Exactly. Plans for the future. Going to be releasing some more collectible videos. Going to be having some more rapid reviews, of course, because I really need to talk to y'all about Pretty Violent. If you like I Hate Fairyland, this is I Hate Fairyland, except set in the quote-unquote real world. It's just as violent, but there's no mother fluffers. It's the hard F's. Like the language in this book is like sailor talk, like you wouldn't believe, but it's funny, and the title says it all. Pretty Violent. Also, hopefully, we'll get a couple more dynamic duo reviews. There's some the DC animated movies that I want us to watch together, and maybe just some collectibles together we can get, or maybe just another comic, or just anything. But like I said, it'll be any of the combination of us. We'll just see how it goes, and I hope you guys like this. It's gonna be here, so hopefully it does well. Hopefully that seeing the two of us talk about the same thing and give our differing opinions on it,
Although they weren't that different this time.
They weren't that different this time. There eventually will come a time which if I was gonna do anything, I would say we could do Valiant's Savage,
Britannia is one that we have opposite opinions on.
Yep.
Several things. One of the big dynamic duo reviews that'll come, and we realize the show has been over for a while, but Arrow will come, because that was a show that for the entire 8 years it was on TV. That was kind of our thing. We'd sit there and watch it every week when it came out. So we've just, obviously, given what's going on in the world, we do hope that everyone is safe with their families and healthy.
Absolutely.
We've taken a lot of time to process our thoughts with that show. We didn't want to just do a knee-jerk reaction, and then come back later and be like, maybe that's not what I really meant. So that will come, because that video, I guarantee, will take us a while to cover everything.
Yes.
Because it'll be not only us going in depth on the final season, but talking about our favorite moments and some of the things that we thought were rushed or could have been done better, given the end. Given that you've had 8 years to kind of plan this out. But that's all we've got for this week, guys. Thank you again for this. We hope you like the dynamic duo reviews, because we look forward to doing a lot of them. Until next time, catch you later, guys.
Later, tots.